Good morning, guys. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but I figured I'd try to pop on here today and do one. I don't know about a lot of you. I'm sure everybody's already seen it on Facebook, of the young teen that died out front of South Fork this morning in a horrific car accident. I'm telling you, just stuff like that just about rips your soul. You know, you just don't understand how in the world something like that can happen, and I think they have yet to release the photo of him, so I don't know. I have a very strong feeling it's someone that I'm sure we've seen. Our kids have grown up together, because my kids went to Hope Elementary for a few years, and Murray Middle and everything, and I guess he went all the way from Hope Elementary all the way from Murray to South Fork. So it's a really tragic day for the community, and I just thought I'd kind of get on here and weigh in. You know, just speaking in general of these kinds of tragic events that happen. Paul has talked so many times, we've talked so many times between the two of us about like how incredibly fast and crazy life is. You know, you don't know this the next second, like what is going to happen. And so many of these sermons Paul has preached here at Messiah's Fellowship, and like I said, I just thought I'd kind of pop on and talk about this, because something we used to talk to at our youth, you know, when we used to be out in country Fort Pierce, you know, and did the youth there for 3 years, and we talked about how we don't know when we are going to be called home. We don't know, you know, when we're going to be called to the judgment and have to stand an account for everything we've done in a split second. You know, we're there, and we have to be ready, like our hearts and minds and souls, like we've got to be ready. We have got to say, you know, every day, Lord Jesus, if there's something in our life, Lord, that you don't like, just ask that you cleanse it, Lord, and cleanse it with your blood, and just help us to grow in you, you know. And it's a daily thing. It really is a daily thing that we need to, you know, do. And I was just talking to one of my friends on Messenger the other day. I'd shared a video. You guys see, I share a lot of videos, but I shared a video about a couple moms, I guess, in prison, and their kids had been, you know, been able to come and see them, I guess. I don't know, it was a special Mother's Day. The one I shared about Mother's Day, but then the other day I shared about just random day or whatever. And I got a message from my friend, and she was like, wow, those kinds of stories just really hit close to home for me, you know. And she talked about like she'd had a past and stuff, and you know, that's just, it's sometimes I think for me it is so frustrating, because there's so many people, and some of you guys know what I'm talking about, that have seen some of our prior videos, and they want to judge us by those videos, but they really maybe don't know Paul and myself. Really, 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 truly do not know us. And it really, really, really stinks, because there has been so many years, even prior to us being at the church, and you know what church I'm talking about, we have poured our lives into a lot of ministries. And again, that is not to say like credit us for anything. That's not it. But you know what? Our passion is ministry. We love helping people, and just trying to, you know, especially after Paul and his heart attack and everything, just getting the word out and telling people about Jesus, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. But anyways, talking about this video, and how these ladies, you know, are in prison, and these men are in prison, and they've done something horrible, right? They've done something horrible. And you know, it's something that, again, you guys have seen me post on this too, and I've got a lot of family that have literally cut me off because of some of the things that have happened in my life. And it just sometimes kind of gets me, because I think there's so many people in general, they're not reading their Bible. They're not. And they really need to look at the stuff that Jesus did. I mean, he was literally sitting with the sinners, sitting with the people that were disgusting and dirty, and, you know, had no hope, and people didn't want to be with them. And God talks all the time about the Pharisees, right? Talks all about the Pharisees. And I think so many times it is so sad. Some of these people, and some of you guys know what I'm talking about, they think they have the perfect life. Everything perfect, right? Hold on, guys. Trying to get my muffins out here. Doing two things at once. Alexa, cancel. And they have the perfect life, or so they think. And they don't think it's going to happen to them. And then it happens. And, you know, you guys know, a lot of you guys know my story. But It's just sad that some of these people cannot understand normal human life and that things happen and we're all one step away from prison or jail or anything because just life sometimes will hit us or DCF or whatever else. I'm telling you, and shame on some of these people, and I'm telling you, I'm calling it out for what it is because it is so sad to me. And especially those that have been preachers' kids that literally have no heart and they think their life is so perfect and so put together that they don't understand when life happens and they're not there for people and they don't understand God's grace. I mean, goodness, we see so many, stories in the Bible about God's grace and people that just were so undeserving of Christ and his, my goodness, if we even look at Jesus on the cross, we're not deserving of anything. He took on the sins of the world, but, anyways, like I said, talking about this, this thing here with the video, and it is just so tragic, that a lot of people don't understand that, but anyways, we're just talking about redemption and how it is just amazing. And I even have myself, I'm sure you guys have seen it, I have a cousin in Arizona Penn, and I write him letters. And I just think it's so important to understand that, we are all sinners. We've messed up. Stealing a pack of gum is just the same as, going out and to somebody, and then they're no longer there on earth, and so it's tragic. It's really tragic. But anyways, and this cousin of mine, a lot of my family members, I would say pretty much almost all of them, will not speak to him, will not write him, will not have any communication with him. And again, I'm just blown away. Some of them, like I said, you got preacher's kids, and they just write people off, and think their life is so perfect. And it just blows my mind. But, again, that's okay. Like Paul and I have always said, at the end of the day, these people are the people that have to answer to God. They have to answer to God for their actions and for not showing grace and love to other people. And again, sometimes we've talked about, how God also has wrath, and his wrath and judgment, and that's all well and good. But again, where is his grace coming? Because there's just so many Bible verses that talk about God's grace and mercy and love and how he just restores, And I don't know, it's just, it's mind blowing how people don't understand that. But I think, again, it's like if it hasn't happened to you, and your life is just going on alone, just wonderfully, perfectly fine, and you're making your money and you're going to church and your kids, don't go through real life struggles, I think this is where we're at, and again, at the end of the day, I think it's what makes, Paul and Melissa so unique is that we've been through a lot of different things. And sorry guys, I'm trying to turn this thing down. We've been through a lot of different things, and we can actually understand. We can totally understand real life situations because we've been there before, and look at Job. We can talk about Job and how his life wasn't perfect and so many tragedies, my goodness. And people even accused him, right, of not being right with Jesus. Literally accused him of that. That's what cracks me up. I literally do not understand that. How? How, And I'm sure there's people that think that of us, Oh my goodness, Paul and Melissa had lost their minds. Completely lost their minds. But you know what? I'm just grateful today for the testimony, and that, at the end of the day, the message that needs to be heard today is that we need to be ready. We need to be ready. We need to have our hearts ready. And guys, here's the deal. If you guys don't have a church to go to, or you're looking for something different, I just ask that you try us out and see if you like us here at Messiah's Fellowship. I'm telling you, we genuinely love people. Paul and Melissa, we love people. And anyways, I really hope all of you guys have a good day. And I just ask that today, you guys all be in prayer for this family and this community and the schools and the teachers and everything else. And that God would just really be there to hearts and really comfort this family in such a way that, you know, again, only he can do. You know, he's the God of all comfort. And so we just pray for this family, you know, and this community tragedy. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.